Let me tell you something that is going to sound absolutely outrageous, and I want you to stay with me, because by the time we are done here, you are going to look back at this moment and say, that was the day everything changed. Are you ready? Here it is. Your income is not determined by your boss. It is not determined by the economy. It is not determined by your degree, your zip code, your credit score, or the fact that your car has been making a suspicious sound for the last 3 months that you have been pretending not to hear. No. Your income is determined by something far more powerful, far more available, and frankly far more exciting than any of those things. Your income is determined by the invisible law that governs all wealth, all supply, all abundance on this earth. And today, we are going to learn how to use it. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You are thinking, oh great, another one of these videos. And listen, I hear you. I genuinely do. Because you have probably sat through enough of these videos to fill a small library, you have watched the men in front of their rented Lamborghinis. You have read the books with the suspiciously orange covers. You have listened to the podcasts with the dramatic music. You have done the vision boards, the journals, the affirmations in the mirror, and I do hope you were alone for those, because if your roommate walked in, that was a whole situation. And yet, here you are, watching another video, which tells me one very important thing. It tells me you have not given up. And that, my dear friend, is not a small thing. That is actually everything. Because the universe, that grand, spectacular, endlessly generous universe, does not reward those who gave up. It rewards those who kept knocking on the door, and you are still knocking. Which means the door is about to swing open, but first let us be honest about where you are right now. Because I am not here to blow smoke at you. I am here to actually help you. And actual help requires actual honesty. You are probably working hard. Maybe you are working very hard. Maybe you are working the kind of hard that leaves you exhausted by Thursday and running on something that only technically qualifies as sleep. You are showing up. You are doing your part. And yet, the money, the real, meaningful, comfortable, I can breathe and also take a vacation kind of money, is not showing up in equal measure. And that disconnect, that painful, frustrating, honestly a little humiliating gap between how hard you work and how much you earn, that is what we are here to talk about today. Here is what I want you to understand before we go any further. That gap is not a reflection of your worth. It is not a cosmic judgment on your value as a human being. It is not the universe sending you a message that you are not good enough. It is simply a signal. It is a signal that somewhere in your inner world, in the deep invisible architecture of your beliefs and your thoughts and your words and your expectations, there is a mismatch. A mismatch between what you say you want and what you actually believe you can have. And today, we are closing that gap. Let me give you the single most important idea in this entire video, and I am going to give it to you early because I think you deserve it right away rather than at the end after 17 minutes of build-up. Ready? Here it is. The world is not responding to your actions. The world is responding to your consciousness. The world is responding to the invisible broadcast you are transmitting every single moment of every single day. Through your thoughts, your words, your expectations, and your deep inner convictions about what you deserve. Now, I know that might sound mystical, and maybe a little bit like something you would read on a decorative pillow. But stay with me, because we are going to break this down in a way that is so practical, so logical, and so immediately useful that you are going to want to try it today. Not next Monday, not on the 1st of the month. Today. Let us talk about the word income for a moment. because I think most people have a very small, very limited, very unnecessarily cramped idea of what income means. When most people think about income, they think about their paycheck. They think about the direct deposit that hits on the 15th and the last day of the month. They think about the number in the salary field on their job offer letter. And that number feels fixed. It feels like a ceiling. It feels like the universe looked at you, rubbed its chin thoughtfully, and said, 47,000 a year. That seems right for this one. But income is not a fixed ceiling. Income is a flow. It is a stream. And streams do not have a maximum. Streams. Let me tell you something absolutely outrageous. Right now, at this very second, money is moving. It is flowing. It is circulating, it is multiplying, and it is landing in somebody's account. Somebody woke up this morning and their income doubled. Somebody opened their phone and saw a number they had never seen before sitting right there in their bank account like it had always belonged there. And here is the part that I need you to really sit with. There is no cosmic law, no divine decree, no secret handshake among the universe's elite that says that person gets to be wealthy and you do not. None. The only difference between that person and where you are standing right now is what they chose to believe, what they chose to say, and what they chose to act upon. So the question is not whether wealth is available to you. The question is whether you are available to wealth. And today, right here, we are going to fix that. Now, before you say, oh, here we go, another one of these videos, stay with me, because I know you. I know exactly where you are sitting right now. Maybe you are on your lunch break, sneaking this video in between bites of a sandwich you brought from home, because eating out is just not in the budget. Maybe you are lying in bed at night staring at the ceiling, doing math in your head, not fun math, not the kind of math you do when you are counting how many days until your vacation. No, you are doing that special kind of math that goes, if I move this bill to next week, and I get paid on Friday, and I do not touch this one account, and I hold my breath, maybe, just maybe, it all works out. Maybe you are scrolling through social media, watching people your age announce new houses, new cars, new business launches, new everything. And you are thinking, what exactly am I doing wrong? And then you feel guilty for thinking that. And then you feel guilty for feeling guilty. It is an exhausting cycle, and I want you to know I see you. I really do. And here is something else I want you to know. You being here, watching this, choosing to spend your time searching for something better, that is not desperation, that is wisdom. That is the very first spiritual act of wealth attraction. You reached. You said yes to the possibility before the possibility even showed itself to you. That matters more than you know. Now let us get into the real conversation. Let us talk about why your income feels stuck, even though you are working hard, even though you are doing the right things, even though you are a good person who deserves good things. Because here is the truth that nobody wants to say out loud: hard work alone does not multiply income. I know that is uncomfortable. We were raised on the gospel of hard work. We were told, work hard, save money, be responsible, and eventually it will all add up. And for some people, in some eras, that formula produced results. But it was never the whole picture. It was never the complete truth. Because if hard work alone built wealth, every nurse, every teacher, every construction worker, every person who has ever worked 2 jobs at once would be a millionaire. And we know that is not what happens. So what is the missing piece? The missing piece is your inner money world. It is the conversation happening in your mind and in your mouth every single day about money, about what you deserve, about what is possible for you, about whether wealth is even something you are allowed to have. And most people have a very troubled inner money world. Not because they are broken, not because they are bad, but because they have been handed down beliefs about money that are working directly against their financial expansion. And they have no idea. They are walking around every single day with a leaking bucket, pouring in their effort and their time and their energy, wondering why the bucket never gets full, not realizing that the very way they are thinking about money is punching holes right through the bottom. Here is what I mean. Think about the last time money came up in conversation in your household growing up. What was the feeling in the room? Was it ease? Was it excitement? Was it gratitude? Or was it tension? Was it scarcity? Was it hushed voices and worried faces? Was it phrases like, "Money does not grow on trees," and "we cannot afford that," and "who do you think we are, rich people?" Those words landed somewhere. They did not just float away into the air. They settled into your subconscious and they became the operating instructions for your financial life. And your subconscious mind is extraordinarily loyal. It does exactly what it believes you believe. So if somewhere deep down you believe that money is scarce, that wealthy people are greedy, that you are not the type to be rich, that wanting more makes you ungrateful, your subconscious will do everything in its power to make sure your outer reality matches those inner instructions. It will sabotage opportunities. It will create circumstances that keep you exactly where you believe you belong. Not because life is cruel, but because your mind is simply doing its job. The problem is, it has been given the wrong job description. And this is where it gets really exciting. Because if your mind is that powerful, if it is that responsive, that means you can change the instructions, you can rewrite the program, you can give your subconscious a brand new job description that says, "My income multiplies daily. Wealth flows to me freely and continuously. I am a magnet for abundance. Every dollar I receive multiplies and returns to me tenfold." And when you do that consistently, when you make that the dominant conversation in your inner world, the outer world has no choice but to reorganize itself around your new belief. This is not wishful thinking. This is spiritual law. This is the law of correspondence, as within, so without. Your outer world is always, always a reflection of your inner world. Always. Now let me introduce you to something I call the word, the work, and the walk. These are three pillars of genuine income multiplication, and when you understand them and apply them together, things start to shift in ways that will genuinely surprise you. The word is what you say. Every day, without thinking about it, you are making declarations about your financial life. I am always broke. I never have enough. Money just slips through my fingers. Every time I get ahead, something pulls me back. Those are not innocent observations. Those are commands. You are literally instructing the universe on what to deliver to your doorstep. The universe does not argue with you. It does not say, "Are you sure? Because I have something better for you." It says, "Understood. Broke it is. Coming right up." So you have to change what you say, not someday, now, starting today. You begin to say, even if it feels ridiculous, even if your bank account looks absolutely nothing like what you are saying, you begin to say, "My income multiplies daily. I am open and receptive to all the wealth life offers me. Money comes to me in expected and unexpected ways. I am financially free and I am grateful." Say it when you wake up. Say it when you are in the shower. Say it when you are sitting in traffic. Say it when you look at your bills instead of groaning. Because your words are seeds. And every seed you plant today is the harvest you walk into tomorrow. The work is what you do. But here is the distinction I want to make, because this is where a lot of people get confused. The work is not about exhausting yourself. The work is about inspired action. There is a massive difference between frantic, fearful effort and inspired, aligned action. Frantic effort says, I have to do everything right now or everything will fall apart. Inspired action says, I am being guided toward the right opportunity, the right connection, the right idea, and I am moving toward it with confidence and trust. When you operate from fear, you actually repel the very things you are trying to attract. You come across as desperate. You make poor decisions. You take jobs and opportunities that do not serve you because you are operating from lack rather than from abundance. But when you operate from the deep knowing that your income is multiplying, that wealth is your divine right, that the right doors are opening for you right now, you move differently. You show up differently. You attract differently. So the work includes practical things. It includes educating yourself about money, how it moves, how to make it work for you, how to create multiple streams of it. Because let me be very honest with you. One stream of income in this economy is like standing under a single tap trying to fill an ocean. You need streams, multiple streams. Some people are making money while they sleep, and I do not just mean that as a cliche. They have set up systems, digital products, investments, content, businesses that generate revenue whether they are awake or not. And none of that is as complicated or as reserved for the elite as you might think. The work means looking at your gifts, your knowledge, your experience, and asking, how can this become a second stream? How can this serve someone else and generate income at the same time? You have more to offer than you realize. I promise you that. The work also means your relationship with money right now, regardless of how much or how little you have. Do you respect money? Do you track where it goes? Do you save even a small amount consistently? Because money is like water. It flows toward those who honor it and away from those who ignore it. If you have no idea where your money goes each month, money notices that. If you spend every dollar without intention, money notices that. If you cringe and feel shame every time you look at your bank balance, money notices that too. Start honoring money. Start saying thank you when it comes in, even small amounts. Start being intentional about where it goes out. Start treating every dollar that passes through your hands as a seed that will grow if you plant it wisely. The walk is how you carry yourself. This one is deeper than people expect. The walk is your posture, not just physical posture, though that matters too. Stand up straight, my friend, but your energetic posture. Are you walking through life as someone who expects good things? As someone who believes they are magnetic to opportunity? As someone who knows without a shadow of doubt that their financial breakthrough is not a matter of if, but when? Or are you walking through life braced for disappointment, expecting the worst, calculating how things will probably go wrong? Your energy speaks louder than your resume. It speaks louder than your qualifications. People can feel it when you walk into a room, whether you believe you are worth investing in. Opportunities can feel it. Money can feel it. Yes, I said money can feel it, and I am not sorry. Start walking like someone whose income multiplies daily, even before you see the evidence. Walk like the version of you who has already broken through. Make decisions from that place. Speak from that place. Dress from that place, not beyond your means, but with intention and dignity, because how you present yourself to the world is a statement about how you expect the world to receive you. Walk in faith, not in fear. Walk in expectation, not in desperation. There is a version of you reading this right now who is about to have a financial breakthrough so significant it will make you laugh at the fact that you were ever worried. Walk toward that version of yourself. Now, I want to talk about something that does not come up enough in these conversations, and that is the energy of gratitude as a multiplier. I know, Gratitude sounds soft. It sounds like a Instagram caption. But bear with me because the logic here is actually quite sound. When you are genuinely grateful for what you have, you are in a state of abundance. You are acknowledging that good things are already present in your life. And that state of abundance is exactly the frequency on which more abundance is received. It is like tuning your radio to the right station. You cannot receive the wealth broadcast if your dial is stuck on the scarcity station. Gratitude tunes you to abundance. So here is a practice. Every morning, before you check your phone, before you look at emails, before you do anything, find 3 things about your financial life to be genuinely grateful for. And before you say, I have nothing to be grateful for financially, let me stop you right there. Do you have a job that paid you something last week? Be grateful. Do you have a skill that someone paid you for even once? Be grateful. Do you have ideas in your head that have the potential to generate income? Be grateful. Do you have eyes to watch this video and a mind to receive this information? Be deeply, sincerely grateful. Because gratitude is not about pretending everything is perfect. Gratitude is about acknowledging the seeds of abundance that are already in your soil so that you water them instead of starving them. And I want to address something that might be sitting quietly in the back of your mind right now. You might be thinking, this all sounds good, but I have real problems, real bills, real debt, real obligations. Can affirmations and gratitude really change that? And my answer is not alone. No, a cheerful attitude alone will not pay your electricity bill. But here is what changes when you shift your inner world. Your perception changes. And when your perception changes, you start seeing opportunities you were blind to before. You start taking actions you were too paralyzed by fear to take before. You start having conversations you were too embarrassed to have before. You start valuing yourself enough to charge what you are worth, to ask for the raise, to launch the thing, to say yes to the collaboration, to send the email. The inner shift creates the outer movement. The mindset is not the destination, it is the vehicle. And without the right vehicle, you will struggle to reach the destination no matter how hard you push. Let me tell you a little story. There was a woman who was deeply in debt, and I mean deeply the kind of debt that sends you to the mailbox with a sense of dread. She had tried budgets, she had tried side hustles, she had tried every logical, practical strategy she could find, and still she felt stuck. One day, she decided to do something that felt utterly ridiculous at the time. She decided to stop saying negative things about her financial situation. Not to lie to herself, not to pretend the debt did not exist, but to simply refuse to speak of it in terms of doom. Every time a bill came, she looked at it and said, "This is being paid. I have the resources. Everything I need comes to me at the right time." Every morning, she said, "My income multiplies daily." She started a gratitude practice. She started spending 15 minutes a day visualizing her finances healed and flourishing. Within 3 months, something remarkable happened. She got a call she had not expected from a former colleague who offered her a consulting project that paid more in 6 weeks than she typically made in 4 months. A second opportunity appeared shortly after that, then a third, and she said to herself, "I was always capable of attracting this. I just had to stop blocking it." That is the story of every financial breakthrough I have ever witnessed. The outer circumstances did not change first. The inner world changed first. And then the outer circumstances had no choice but to follow. Now let us talk practically about income multiplication, because I want to make sure you leave here with more than just inspiration. I want you to leave with a map. Income multiplication happens through three main channels, and you want to be working all three simultaneously. The first channel is increasing what you currently earn. This means negotiating. This means positioning yourself for advancement. This means making yourself indispensable in your current role or field. This means charging what you are actually worth in your business or freelance work, not what you hope people will accept, but what your work genuinely commands. And if you do not know what you are worth, your assignment this week is to research what others in your field are charging and being paid. Because one of the most financially devastating things you can do is undercharge. Every time you charge less than your work is worth, you are sending your subconscious a message that says, "My work is not that valuable," and your subconscious files that away. And your clients and employers feel it too. Raise your rates. Ask for the raise. Negotiate with confidence. Your income will begin to shift almost immediately. The second channel is creating new streams. This is where the multiplication really begins. One job, one salary, one client, that is one stream. And if that stream dries up for any reason, you have nothing. But if you have 4 streams, 5 streams, 7 streams, some combination of a main income, a side skill you monetize, a digital product, an investment that pays dividends, a content platform that generates passive income, then when one stream has a slow month, you are fine. The water keeps flowing. So I want you to sit down this week and make a list. What skills do you have? What knowledge do you have that other people would pay to receive? What problem can you solve? What content can you create? What service can you offer online and offline? I guarantee you there are at least 3 potential income streams hiding in the gifts you already have. Your job is to see them. The third channel is making your money work. This is investing. This is putting your money somewhere that makes more money while you sleep. Now, I am not going to stand here and tell you exactly where to invest, because markets change and every situation is individual, and you should always seek proper financial advice for your specific circumstances. But I will tell you this, leaving every dollar you have, sitting in a savings account earning fractions of a % interest, while inflation quietly eats away at its value, is not a wealth strategy. That is financial stagnation dressed up as safety. Learn about investing. Start small if you need to. A small amount invested consistently and wisely over time creates wealth. Compound interest is one of the most powerful forces in the financial universe, and it works just as hard for the person who starts small and stays consistent as it does for the person who starts big. Start now. Start wherever you are. And speaking of starting wherever you are, I want to address the comparison trap. Because nothing will kill your income multiplication faster than spending your energy comparing your chapter 2 to someone else's chapter 20. You do not know their full story. You do not know the sleepless nights, the failures, the pivots, the losses that preceded what you are seeing. You are seeing the highlight reel of someone else's journey and comparing it to the backstage footage of your own. That is not fair to you. Every time you look at someone else's success and feel diminished by it, you are leaking energy that could be used to build your own. Celebrate others. Genuinely. Because your ability to celebrate someone else's wealth without resentment is actually one of the strongest signals you can send to the universe that you believe wealth is abundant and available, not scarce and only for some. Celebrate wealth wherever you see it, and then get back to building yours. Now I want to take a moment to talk about what I call the prosperity pivot, the moment when everything changes. And here is the thing about the prosperity pivot. It almost never looks the way you imagine it will. You imagine a dramatic moment, a big check arrives, an investor calls, a viral video launches you to fame. And sometimes it does look like that, But more often, the prosperity pivot is quiet. It is an idea you act on instead of letting it die. It is a conversation you have that you almost talked yourself out of having. It is a decision to do one small thing differently today. It is a choice to believe, just for today, that your income is capable of multiplying. And that small, quiet pivot creates a ripple, and that ripple becomes a wave. And that wave becomes a flood of abundance that you could not have predicted from where you were standing. So what is your prosperity pivot today? What is the one small thing you can do right now, after this video, that moves you in the direction of income multiplication? Can you update your resume or your portfolio? Can you send the email you have been putting off? Can you post the content you have been scared to put out into the world? Can you research one investment? Can you sit down and write out 3 potential income streams? Can you have the conversation about your rates? Can you say, right now, out loud or in your head, my income multiplies daily, and actually mean it for the first time? Do the one thing, the one small brave thing, because momentum is not built in grand gestures. It is built in small, consistent, courageous choices made one at a time. And here is my absolutely non-negotiable truth for you before we close. You deserve this. Not because life owes you something, not because wanting wealth makes you greedy, but because you are a full, whole, valuable human being with gifts and talents and contributions that the world genuinely needs. And those contributions deserve to be compensated abundantly. There is nothing holy about poverty. There is nothing noble about struggling when you do not have to. Wealth in your hands means you can take care of your family, your community, your future self. Wealth in your hands means you can give generously, serve freely, dream fully. Wealth is not the opposite of goodness. Wealth in the hands of a good person is goodness. So claim it without apology, pursue it without shame, receive it without guilt, and multiply it with gratitude. Your income multiplies daily. Say it, believe it, live it, and then watch with your own beautiful, deserving eyes as the evidence shows up and says, yes, finally. We have been waiting for you to let us in. Now here is what I want you to do right now, right this second. In the comments below, I want you to write the words, "My income multiplies daily." Not because it is a magic trick, though the consistency of saying it will do remarkable things for your belief system over time, but because I want you to make a public declaration. I want you to plant that seed in the open, where the light can get to it, where other people who are also planting seeds can see yours and be encouraged. Your declaration might be the very thing that gives someone else the courage to make theirs. And that is the beginning of a community of people who genuinely lift each other into abundance. So go do that right now. Write it in the comments. And if this video gave you something today, if something clicked, if something shifted, if you laughed a little and then quietly thought, okay, I am going to try this, please do me a favor and share it. Share it with the person in your life who needs to hear that their income can multiply. Share it with the friend who is doing the ceiling math at night. Share it with your own self by saving it and coming back to it when you need a reminder. Because we all need reminders. We are human beings and we forget. We slip back. We have a hard week and suddenly the old tapes start playing again. That is why you keep coming back. That is why you subscribe and turn on notifications and build a habit of choosing expansion over contraction, faith over fear, possibility over limitation. The journey to income multiplication is not a straight line. It is not always graceful. Sometimes you will take 2 steps forward and trip over your own shoelace going backward. And that is fine. Get up, tie your shoe. Say, my income multiplies daily, and keep walking. Because the walk does not end until you decide it does. And I have a feeling you are not the quitting type. I have a feeling you are exactly the kind of person who watches a 20-minute video about wealth expansion when you could be doing 100 other things, because something in you knows that your time has come. Something in you knows that the breakthrough is close. Something in you said yes when you clicked play, and that yes is the beginning of everything. So go, plant your word in the comments, take your one action, honor your money, expand your streams, walk like someone who knows their income multiplies daily, and come back here to this community as often as you need to be reminded of who you are and what you are capable of. I will be here. And so will the truth that wealth is your birthright, abundance is your nature, and your income, it multiplies daily, every single day.